Alright, as I do this demo, you need to make sure that you're watching what I'm doing, okay? I know that everybody's trying to get the notes down, but make sure that you're watching the step while you're getting the notes down. Probably shouldn't take it too long. Alright, spout handle demo. You guys have how many people are completely done with the altering, the base, the reinforcing? It's ready for a spout. This is amazing. This is the highest percentage yet all day long. So you're going to have your pot sitting here in front of you, and you're going to look at number one, and you're going to say, where's your spout going? You have to figure it out, okay? You have to think like, would it look better on this side? Would it look better on this side? And you have to make some, decisions. This is the one I did earlier. I think you guys saw me altering this one last week maybe, or actually in the last few days. The reason I chose the spout to go on this side was because of this line right here starts going up, okay? Because this line goes up, it makes it, look at it from this side. It makes it look like it's going up with the spout also. This side right here was kind of going down a little bit. I didn't want to go against that. I don't know if that's something that your pots are going to lend themselves to. Maybe we'll have a conversation about that. Who's this?
Mine.
I'm going to put it back here. But I think Felix is Superman. He can look through it, can't you? Felix? Don't you want to be Superman?
No.
Sounds like a song. Okay. Uh-oh. We'll talk later. We'll talk later. Okay?
About what?
I can tell you're upset.
Fine.
Okay. Alright.
More fine today.
So, where is it going? You want to look at the flow of the pot. You want to look at proportion. How big is it going to be? First step. Just like if you were making a base to a coil bowl. That's what we're going to do. We're going to patty cake a little round slab. Now, with that being said, so it's about as much clay for like a pinch pot or the base. Huh?
Can't see it.
It's okay, it doesn't matter. It's about the same for a base or a small pinch pot. We want to do what we would do to go through if we were making a base to a coil bowl or a coil vase. I round it, and then I'm going to flatten it, and I want it what thickness? What is it? What is it? Pinky. Okay? Do you think that this is thinner or thicker or the same as a pinky right here?
Thicker.
My pot.
Same.
No, it's thinner. Okay? Your pots are going to be a little bit thicker than the spout. We want, and I don't know if it says in the notes, pinky finger thickness, we want the spout to start off thicker than the pot because we're going to pinch it and make it to the same thickness later. If we start thin and we add this spout to it and it's thin like the pot, what's going to happen to it? It's going to fall. Okay? So here's my patty cake. Not the most exciting part of the demo. You're mesmerized though. How you doing? Okay. So just like before, I roll the edge to keep it the same thickness all the way through. We want a pinky finger thickness. I'm not going to be going around measuring. It's just a recommendation. Okay? All right? Pinky finger looks good enough to me. Now, this is what my spout is starting from. It's a circle. I know it doesn't look like a spout yet. It will by the time I'm done. What I'm doing right now is I'm just checking it to see how big it's going to be. I think this is going to be okay. I'm going to do the next steps where I cut into a triangle and I cut the corners off, but the whole time I'm checking it to make sure that it's going well with the pot, that it's not too small, it's not too big. So what I'm going to do, next step is, what do I do with this circle?
You cut it into a square or rectangle.
I can cut it into a square or a rectangle. So I'm going to take it, and you might have to redo this if you cut too much off. But I'm cutting off the sides there. I'm cutting off this part up here. I do a rectangle. And when I put it on, like this, I want it to be a little bit taller than it is wider. But you might like it to be, well, you know what? I'm going to change that. Yeah, it needs to be wider. Why? Why?
Because of the flow with the pot.
Yeah, the pot is kind of wide. My other one was kind of narrow, so I went the other way. So you guys got it when I got it. So I'm going to hold it like this. So because if I did it like this, it's real wide and it goes in really far to the spout. So if I do it like this, that should be pretty good. All right? So now I got a square. What do I do next? What do the notes say? Cut the corners. So I'll do it here. If you guys want to stand up and look when I do some of this stuff so you can see, I'm just going to take that corner off. How can I make the other side the same way?
Oh, you put it on top.
Put it on top on the other side. I just flip it over like that. Okay? Is it starting to look more like a spout?
Yeah.
Okay? So, I take this, I'm checking my proportion. I'm actually going to be pinching this and it will actually be rising up a little bit higher. I'll put my my junkie, that's from my ring, I'll put that on the inside. So I'm going to press it up against it like this. We need a little bit of clay here to be able to blend into the pot. So I'm going to press to stick it. What I'm going to do, number 5, set it on the rim to check the size and proportion. If it's okay, you're going to mark the bottom of this spout right here. You're going to mark it. I drew it right here. This is where my pot is right now. When I mark the bottom, I'm going to have a square on the rim of my pot. So I go like this. Oh, don't do this. I have people, this is kind of even. I have people that like do this real quick and they put it on sideways like this because they're going too fast. All right? So you just set it even and you can hold it in place. I'm going to take my fettering knife and I'm going to trace the bottom of my spout like that. Okay? Same thing I was saying the other day. You guys, it's a series of steps that we're trying to do. How many people have baked cakes or brownies in here? A lot of people have. If you skip step 5, which is add the egg to the brownies, are the brownies going to taste good? They're not going to taste good. Same thing with what we do in here. A lot of what we do, and this isn't fun, you know, step-driven things. It's not fun, but it's fun when you got a great pot. You know what I'm saying? So, I have a square there. What am I going to do next? Square.
Cut it out. No.
I'm going to cut a half circle inside of it. Number 7, cut a half circle inside the box, leaving some of the box. You have to leave some of the box because the box that's left over, I'm going to be scoring slipped into it. Okay? And let me cut it out and I'll explain what this half circle thing is. So I just go like that, cut a half circle. I'm leaving like a half an inch around it or so. Huh?
It's not even.
It doesn't matter. I mean, really, it's not going to make that much of a difference. Okay? Half of a circle. All right? So the reason I'm taking that, because I'm putting this on, you don't want this up against this. It's too what?
Too wide.
Too thick. If it's thick, it's going to do what?
Oh.
No.
Crack.
Crack. Okay? If it's thick, it cracks. So we want to cut a little bit this way, but we need some of that square left because we're going to score and slip. If I cut the whole square out, then this would just go into the pot. I wouldn't be able to attach it. Okay? So I'm going to attach this up here like that. Okay? I'm moving pretty quick, so hopefully you're keeping up with me. Because I still have to do a little bit of I'm going to do a small handle demo too. What I've started doing on some of my pictures that I'm doing, I actually will pinch this a little bit thinner to make it thin for when I add the spout to it. So let me do my scoring here. This is the exciting part of the demo, Lally. Scoring and slipping.
I find it exciting.
This thing right here is getting on my nerves.
Oh my gosh. Perfectionist. That's okay. Perfectionist is good.
I thought you
All
said
right.
it was bad.
Well, it's bad if you're such a perfectionist and it keeps you from moving forward. Does that make sense? To where you get hung up on certain things. So it's even. I press it up against it like this. I'm starting to really press it to get all that slip to go where?
Inside the cut.
Into all the cuts. All right? Now, I need you guys to stand up. Stand up. I need to show you something. You have to see this. Okay? This picture was just like this. Same type of thing. Look at the rim of this and look at this. What does not match up?
Wait, can
That's
you turn it
That's
some
the thickness?
so I can see?
The thickness, of course.
Turn so I
That
can
one
see.
flows
No,
into
this
it.
one. Like all the way so I could see that.
The spout
Oh.
goes right into the rim.
It's all
Where?
connected, I guess.
Where does the spout go into the rim?
It
On
belongs
this
It
or that?
overlaps.
on that. On the one you
On
hold.
this, and that's what you were saying, my spout goes, this is the rim right here. My spout goes all the way through the rim like this. It makes it look like it's what?
One piece.
One piece. Remember, we try to create an illusion. So what you have to do right now at this stage, and let me make sure it's in the notes, it's not in the notes. So make sure that you pay attention to this. I'm going to take this rim right here, and what am I going to do to it to get to that? No.
Blend
Huh?
it in?
Pull it.
Pull it. Watch. Stand up and watch. If you can't see, I'm going to pull that part of the spout like that. See the rim right now? It's going to match up with this. I'm going to fill this up a little bit. I take this side over here. I add that over like that. See, this line right here is what I want to go all the way through, and it's going to make it look like it's all the same. Okay? In your notes, it tells me to do what on the inside where the half circle meets the
I'm
spout.
guessing blend it or add another coil?
Add a small coil.
I was
Transition coil.
I was just going off the head. I don't know.
So I'm just going to do a real thin coil, because if I do something thick, it kind of defeats the purpose of cutting the circle out from the beginning. Does that make sense? If I just add a big thick coil in there, all I'm doing is putting the clay back that I took away. So I'm just going to add a little one here, like that. Yep, if you start fading, you need to go get a drink of water and then come back in. Not all at once,
I stood up first.
one at a time.
And I'm gonna beat him to the door.
No distractions. Okay, so I got a little bit there. What is the problem here and here?
Like they're not evenly like like one point's higher than the other.
It's not even. I'm gonna push this
Symmetrical.
out.
There's no what?
There's no like
No, it's not smooth.
There's no what?
flow.
There's no flow. See how it goes right here? It stops. What should I add right here?
A piece of clay.
Add a piece of clay. It's like a transition coil also. For a long time, I tell the students do a little carrot where it's kind of fat and it tapers down. I think you could just get away with taking some clay like this, pressing it in, and then blending it down like that. So I'm taking that, I call it a ramp. I add that clay, this is all added, I press it up to where the line of my spout is going up into that. I drag it down here, I drag it down there. On the other side, I do the same thing. And this clay is, nice, wet, good clay. Not that anything that we use is not good clay. Some people are becoming clay snobs around here. So see what I added to it? This ramp? See how that goes? That goes through. All this is going to be pinched, and it's going to look thinner, and it's going to be nice. All right? So I'm going to take everything that I have, like this coil in here. I'm going to blend it. I need a wooden rib. Let me see. Do I have tools here? I can get it right here.
Yeah, that one would hurt my ankle.
You just hurt all over the place. Oh yeah, your ankle. The original injury. I'm going to take my wooden rib and scrape in here to get that coil to join with the spout. Now lift it up and show you here in a sec. I had a little gap there. I could take a pinch of clay and just add into that gap. If your pots are ever cracking or you have gaps in them, you could just fill it up with clay. So the inside, I don't see that circle so much anymore.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna drag it down right now.
Show the camera.
Okay? So on the outside, I'm gonna start dragging the clay down, spreading it out. I'll turn around so you guys can see.
Why don't you just like cut it?
Well, I'm gonna drag it, I'm gonna pinch it. Like you mean just shave it off? You might be able to do it. I'm trying to leave the thickness for a little while I start pinching it. I'll try to explain something. When I was in college, Sarah can agree to this. You have a project. It would be like 10 of these, okay, for a project. And the guy that was teaching me at the time, Rob Reedy, he taught us how to do these spouts. But what he did, we're going to pinch this, and it's going to make it grow, and it's going to be the same thickness as this, okay? And it makes a good transition into, this spout. The way he taught it, we did all this the same way, but right now, he would spray this down, and he'd get water on his fingers, and he'd start squeezing it and making it rise up. It's called pulling. It's like over there, but you're doing it here with water, and you're pulling it up and pulling it up. Well, when you add a lot of water and you pull it to thin, what do you think happened 4 times in a row for me when I was doing my spouts?
You pulled it off.
No, well, kind of, yeah. It fell over. It sagged over, okay? So at some point, I figured it out and I did well at it after like 4, but you're messing up 4 times. When I started doing this with my students and they started doing the same thing, I needed to figure out a better way because that's, what I do as a teacher. I try to keep you guys from struggling. So at this point, instead of adding water and pulling, it's just a matter of taking your time and pinching the spout towards me, towards yourself. So I start down here. It's very thick because we added that clay onto it. So now I start pinching it and bringing it up. And where are we right here? We are at ramp, blend. So blend and join, smooth everything. Pinch the spout softly outward to the thickness of the pot. So we are at number 12, which is almost done.
Good job, Reagan.
Okay? So I pinch this. What would happen if I pinch the edge really, really thin?
It'll like get thin.
It would be thin.
Crack.
It will crack. I'm thinking of the way that it looks.
Uneven.
Uneven towards what?
The rest of the rim.
The rest of the rim. Okay? I'm pinching this, and I'm looking at this rim the whole time. Down in here, I can still tell that it's very thick. So I'm pinching it, and it's growing. It's getting bigger. I'm pulling it out towards myself. Some of this stuff, like what Jennery said, I can scrape a little bit of that off if I want to when I'm smoothing it out. But you pinch it down to the thickness of the pot. You'll see, just like anything else, you guys are working on this. I'm going to come around. I'm going to check it. I'm going to say, oh yeah, you need to pinch here a little bit more. I'll make recommendations and all that. If that circle that I put on the inside, if it starts cracking, what do I do? Add clay. Scratch it and add clay. So I pinch this like that. Same thickness. Now out here, because this is, a demo, I'm not going to sit here and smooth this out 1000%. It's really boring, and I think that you guys know where I'm coming from. But I'm going to show you a couple things. For one, this right here, this hump,
Yeah,
it does not do what?
look good.
Okay, what's a
Makes
better
it
word?
look uneven too.
Low.
It does not flow. Okay? So let me draw this. This right there. If I add my spout like this, and it has this hump like that, okay? It doesn't go with the flow. So what I do the whole time is I start smoothing and pushing to where my spout is going with the flow of the pond. You know what I mean? I can paddle it, I can scrape it, but the whole time, what is the outline of 3D objects called? Anybody know?
Actual.
No.
Implied.
Implied. Okay? So I mean, that's pretty good. You got it on the second one. The implied line of this, I'm sitting there and I'm going to be looking at it the whole time. Okay? Oh, there he is.
Hi, Mr. Groom.
A little more enthusiasm than